Good day. Quick question. Did you know that without magnetic fields, we will not have auroras, compasses, or even the ability to stream your favorite music? So, what's the attraction with these invisible forces? Let's dive into the world of magnetic fields. Learning objectives. So at the end of the discussion, you are expected to differentiate electric interactions from magnetic interactions, evaluate the total magnetic flux through an open surface, and describe the motion of a charged particles in a magnetic field in terms of its speed, acceleration, cyclotron radius, cyclotron frequency, and kinetic energy. Okay, let's talk about magnetic fields. Basically, ang magnetic field ay parang lugar or space sa paligid ng isang bagay na may kakayahang itulak o hilain yung iba pang bagay na magnetic. Parang aura sa paligid ng isang magnet o kaya wire na may kuryente. Ginagamit natin ang symbol na capital letter B para i-represent ang magnetic field. Kaya kapag nakakita ka ng capital letter B sa physics equation tungkol sa magnetism, yun na yun. Source. Saan ba nanggagaling ang magnetic fields? Well, gawa sila ng gumagalaw na electric charges. Kaya, kahit anong bagay na may electrons na nagliliparan, nagkakaroon ka ng magnetic field. Tsaka, yung magnetic dipoles din, gaya ng magnet, gaya ng bar magnet. Magnetic field strength unit. Paano natin sinusukat kung gaano kalakas ang magnetic field? Ginagamit natin ng unit na Tesla, capital letter T. Medyo malakas ng isang Tesla. Equivalent yan sa Newton seconds per kilometer o kaya Newtons per ampere meter. Baka complicated yan pero tandaan mo lang na Teslang unit. May mas maliit na unit din, Gauss. Gamit din yan. Ang isang Tesla ay katumbas ng 10,000 Gauss. Kung ikukumpara, ang magnetic field ng Earth, mga half a Gauss lang. So, mahina talaga. Magnetic poles. Alam mo yung positive at negative electric charges na pwede mag-exist na mag-isa? Well, iba ang magnetic poles. Hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng North Pole lang o South Pole lang. Laging magkapares yan. Kaya ang North Pole, laging may kasamang South Pole sa parehong magnet. At kung susubukan mong hatiin ang magnet para magkaroon ng isang pole lang, ang mangyayari, magkakaroon ka lang ng dalawang mas maliit na magnet na parehong may North at South Pole. Parang dikit na dikit sila. Magnetic poles interaction. Siyempre, alam mo na siguro to. Pero, ang magkaparehong poles nagtutulakan at ang magkaibang poles nagdidikitan. Kaya pag tinulak mo ang dalawang North poles, nagtutulakan sila. Pero, pag pinagdikit mo ang North at South pole, magdidikit sila. Parang magnet sa ref, no? Two types of electromagnetic interaction. First, electric interaction occurs between charged particles regardless of their motion. Kahit hindi gumagalaw ang charged particles, may interaction pa rin. Involves forces that can be attractive or repulsive. Dahil may dalawang klase ng electric charge, which is positive at negative, like charges repel and opposite charges attract. Electric forces do work on charged particles, changing their kinetic energy. Kaya pwedeng mapabilis o mapabagal ang charged particles. So, example, static link, yung balloon na dumidikit sa dingding. Molecular bonding, nagbubuklod sa atom. Next is magnetic interaction. Occurs only between moving charged particles. Pag hindi gumagalaw ang charged particles, walang interaction. Magnetic forces change the direction of motion but not the speed, the kinetic energy. Kaya, pwedeng maging circular ang motion pero hindi mapapabilis o mapapabagal. Example, powering everyday things such as motors, speakers, compasses, etc. Electricity generating through electromagnetic inductions. Magnetic field, magnetic flux. Ang magnetic poles may kasamang magnetic forces and napapaligiran sila ng magnetic field. Lakas ng field na to, sinusukat ng magnetic flux. Ang magnetic flux basically measure ng gaano karaming magnetic field ang dumadaan sa isang area. Magnetic field and magnetic flux. Ang magnetic poles may kasamang magnetic forces and napapaligiran sila ng magnetic field. Ang lakas ng field na to sinusukat ng magnetic flux. And ang magnetic flux basically measure ng gaano karaming magnetic field ang dumadaan sa isang area. So, formula ng magnetic flux is phi is equals to capital letter B times capital letter A cosine theta. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? So, yung phi, yung magnetic flux. Yung capital letter B naman, yung magnetic field. Yung capital letter A, yung area. And yung theta, yung angle sa pagitan ng magnetic field lines at yung normal sa area. Ang magnetic flux sinusukat sa Webers. Magnetic materials. Diamagnetic materials have a relative permeability, km, slightly less than 1 and slightly decrease the magnetic field. So, yung mga material na to, medyo hihinaan yung magnetic field. Next, paramagnetic materials. Paramagnetic materials have a relative permeability slightly greater than 1 and slightly increase the magnetic field. So, yung mga material na to naman, medyo palalakasin yung magnetic field. Ferromagnetic materials have a relative permeability of 50 or larger and greatly increase the magnetic field. So, yung mga material na to naman is sobrang palalakasin yung magnetic field. Lastly, solenoids and magnetic fields. The magnetic field inside the solenoid is directly proportional to the current and the number of turns per unit length. So, pag dinaanan mo yung current or dinaanan mo yung number of turns per unit length, palalakasin mo yung magnetic field. Filling the solenoid with a material changes the magnetic field by a factor of km, the relative permeability. So, pag pinuno mo yung solenoid ng ferromagnetic material, sobrang lakas na ng magnetic field.
Okay, so to solve the sample problem number 1, let's read the word problem itself first. So, a circular loop of wire with a radius of 10 cm is placed in a uniform magnetic field of 0.5 Tesla. The magnetic field makes an angle of 60 degrees with the normal to the plane of the loop. Calculate the magnetic flux through the loop. So first, we must determine the given and the problem. So, ang R natin, or the radius, is equals to 10 cm. Pero since ang standard ay 1 meter, i-move natin yung decimal place, decimal 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So, magiging result niyan is 0.1 meters. For the V, or the magnetic field, it is 0.5 Tesla. Finally, the theta or the angle, 60 degrees. Now, anong hinahanap natin? The magnetic flux. Ngayon, the equation that we will use is magnetic flux is equals to BA cosine theta. Pero, wala tayong A. So, ang gagawin natin, kukunin natin yung formula ng A. So, ano ba yung formula ng A? Formula ng A is pi r square. And, kaya na lang natin yung cosine theta. Understood? So, for the solution, i-transpose natin yung ating mga values. So, for the B, magnetic field, 0.5 Tesla. And yung pi, r square, 0.1 meter square, cosine, 60 degrees. And, pag-input natin yan sa calcu. So, ito yung Tesla. Cut na lang yan. So, ito yung Tesla, 0.5. Pi, 0.1 meter squared. And, cosine 60 degrees. Magiging 0.00785. 0.00785 Tesla meter square. Or, magiging ano ang gagamitin nating unit? Of course, it is Weber, WB. Ang ating answer is magnetic flux is equals to 0.00785 Weber.
Lorentz force. Okay, pag-usapan natin ang Lorentz force. Ang Lorentz force basically ay yung magnetic force na nararamdaman ng isang gumagalaw na charge. Ang mahalaga dito yung force na to, laging perpendicular sa velocity ng charge at sa magnetic field. So parang nakaanggulo siya palagi. Lorentz force formula is F is equal to the cross product of Q multiplied by V and B. Bakit may cross product? Dahil ang magnetic force ay perpendicular sa parehong velocity at magnetic field. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang basta multiply ang gagawin. F yung magnetic force, Lorentz force. Q yung charge. V yung velocity. B yung magnetic field. Magnitude of Lorentz force. F equal charge times velocity times magnetic field sin theta. Kung gusto mo lang malaman yung laki, magnitude ng force, ito yung formula. F is the magnetic force. Q is the charge. V is the velocity. And B is the magnetic field. Theta yung angle sa pagitan ng velocity at ng magnetic field. Ang force ay zero. Walang force. Kung yung charge ay stationary, hindi gumagalaw o gumagalaw ng parallel sa magnetic field. So, kailangan may angle para magkaroon ng force. Yung direction ng force makukuha mo gamit ang right hand rule. Maraming versions ng right hand rule. Pero, basically, kailangan mong i-orient yung kamay mo para makuha yung tamang direksyon. Ang electric force kumikilos sa direksyon ng electric field, samantalang ang magnetic force perpendicular sa magnetic field. Ang electric force umapekto sa charge particle kahit gumagalaw man ito o hindi. Ang magnetic force umapekto lang sa charge particle pag gumagalaw ito. Ang electric force nag-work sa paggalaw ng charge particle. Ang magnetic force is steady magnetic field. Walang ginagawang work pag nagalaw yung particle. So, ang electric force pwedeng magpabilis o magpabagal. Ang magnetic force nagpapabago lang ng direksyon.
Okay, so to test your mastery towards the Lorentz force formula, let's all solve for the sample problem number 2. So, let's all read the word problem itself together. An electron with a charge of 1.60 times 10 raised to negative 19 coulomb travels at a speed of 5.0 times 10 raised to 6 meter per second through a uniform magnetic field of 0.2 Tesla. The angle between the electron's velocity and the magnetic field is 90 degrees. What is the magnitude of the magnetic force acting on the electron? So of course, gagawin natin first is to determine the given in the problem. So, Given are the Q, which is the charge, 1.60 times 10 raised to negative 19 coulomb. Next, the velocity. Meron siyang vector sign. Velocity is equals to 5.0 times 10 raised to positive 6 meter per second. Next is the magnetic field denoted by capital letter B, 0.2 Tesla. Finally, the angle or the theta, which is 90 degrees. Next, what is the required? Ano yung nawawala? The magnetic force denoted by capital letter F. Next, what equation will we use? So, F is equals to QV B sine theta. So, magmumultiply natin yung charge, velocity, and the magnetic field sa sine theta natin. So, anuhin na natin yung kanilang values. So, F is equals to 1.60 times 10 raised to negative 19 coulomb multiplied by 5.0 times 10 raised to positive 6 meter per second multiplied by 0.2 Tesla and sine theta, which is sine 90 degrees. Pero, pwede natin itong i-substitute into 1 since sine 90 degrees is equals to 1. So, basically, kahit na hindi na to i-add kasi 1 multiplied by this will still remain the product of this. So, hindi na siya mag-change. Okay, so input na natin siya sa CalQ. So, if we were to input this in the scientific calculator, ito yung magiging kalabasan. Kakalabasan niya. So, ano yan? Force, magnetic force is equals to magnetic force. Magnetic force is equals to 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 13. Coulomb, Tesla. Ulit. So, kalalabasan niya, 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 13. Coulomb, meter per second, Tesla. So, pag kinonvert natin yan, ang kalalabasan niya is Newton. So, Coulomb, meter per second, Tesla is equivalent to Newton. So, answer natin is 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 13 Newton. Our answer and that is our final answer.
Kung may electric field at magnetic field, ang total force ay given by the Lorentz force law. F is equal to the cross product of Q multiplied by E plus Q multiplied by V is equal to the cross product of B, and Q multiplied by E plus Q multiplied by V. Q yung charge, E yung electric field, V yung velocity, B yung magnetic field. So, pinagsama lang yung electric force at yung magnetic force.
Okay, so let's move on to the topic and let's discuss the next one, which is the motion of charged particles in electric and magnetic fields. So, the total force of charged particles sa combined electric at magnetic fields is given by the Lorentz force law, which is the F equals QE plus QVXB. So, ang electric field is nag-exert ng force which is parallel sa field. Ito ay nagkakos ng acceleration at nagpapabago sa speed at kinetic energy ng isang particle. So, tandaan, ang electric field ay pwedeng magpabilis o magpabagal. So, moving on, Ang magnetic field is nag-exert ng force which is perpendicular sa parehong velocity at magnetic field. Ito ay nagkukos ng acceleration na nagpapabago sa direksyon ng isang motion sa isang particle. Pero hindi sa speed o kinetic energy. So, tandaan, ang magnetic field ay nagpapabago lamang ng direksyon. Okay, so motion in a uniform magnetic field. So, kung ang charged particle ay gumagalaw na may velocity, which is perpendicular sa uniform magnetic field B, is lilipat siya sa circle. Ang magnetic force naman ay nagpro-provide ng centripetal force na kailangan para sa circular motion. Now, radius of circular path. Ang radius ng circular path ay given by the formula which is the R equals mv over qb, which is the R symbolizes the radius ng isang circular path, while the m is the mass ng particle, v yung speed, q yung charge, and b for magnetic field. So now let's talk about cyclotrons, the particle accelerators. So yung mga particles ay gumagalaw sa nearly circular paths at nakakatanggap ng energy boost twice per revolution. So yung energy is tumataas, pati na rin ang orbital radii, pero angular speed at frequency ay nananatiling constant. So, magnetrons, the microwave radiation sources. Ito ay nag-i-emit ng radiation na may frequency which is equal sa circular motion ng electrons sa isang vacuum chamber. Ginagamit ito sa microwave ovens at radar systems. So, what is cyclotron? So, it was invented in 1934 ni E.O. Lawrence at M.S. Livingston. It was designed para mapabilis ang particles sa high kinetic energies. So let's talk about the applications of accelerated particles from cyclotrons. So first, we have bombarding atomic nuclei para mag-induce ng nuclear reactions para sa research. So second, which is producing radioactive materials para sa medical at other applications. So, moving on, cyclotron operation. So, the charged particles is nag-originate sa center. So, the particles is pinapabilis across the gap sa pagitan ng Ds or D-shaped electrodes by a potential difference. So, ang potential difference is nag-alternate sign sa cyclotron frequency. So, the particles is pinapabilis niya each time na tumatawid sila sa gap na gumagalaw sa mas malalaking circles. So, ang cyclotron frequency ay independent sa radius ng orbit ng particle. So now, let's talk about cyclotrons using both electric and magnetic fields. So, yung cyclotrons is gumagamit ng magnetic fields para i-confine ang mga particles sa spiral path at electric field para mapabilis sila. As particles accelerated by the electric field, yung speed at kinetic energy nila ay tumataas at gumagalaw sila sa circle na mas malalaking radius. So, the frequency ay kung saan ang electric field na nag-alternate is kept equal sa cyclotron frequency para ma-maintain ang resonance at continuous acceleration. So, cyclotron period, ang period ng circular motion or yung time para sa one complete revolution is given by T equals to pi m over qb. The m symbolizes the mass of particle, q yung charge, and b is for the magnetic field. Ito ay independent sa velocity at radius.
So moving on to the cyclotron frequency. It is also called frequency of circular motion. It is given by the formula F is equals to QB over 2 pi m. So Q is yung charge, B yung magnetic field, and finally, M is yung mass ng particle. It is also independent sa velocity at radius. So kahit gaano kabilis o kalaki yung circle, pareho pa rin ang frequency. Moving on to the kinetic energy in a cyclotron. So ang kinetic energy ng particle paglabas ng cyclotron ay denoted by the formula of K is equals to Q square multiplied by B square multiplied by R square all over 2m. So R is yung maximum radius ng cyclotron, while Q is yung charge, B yung magnetic field, and M is yung mass ng particle. So pag mas malaki yung radius ng cyclotron, mas malaki yung kinetic energy ng particle paglabas. So for the applications, first is yung mass spectrometer. So, gumagamit ng magnetic fields para malaman ang mass-to-charge ratio ng ions. Parang timbangan ng mga tiny particles. Second, cyclotron. It is a particle accelerator na gumagamit ng magnetic fields para mapabilis ang charged particles sa high energy. Ginagamit din to sa research at medical purposes. Next ay yung magnetron. Ginagamit sa microwave ovens at radar systems para mag-generate ng microwave radiation. Ito yung magpapainit ng pagkain mo. Okay, so the next one is the force on a current carrying wire. So yung mga current carrying wire sa magnetic fields nakaka-experience ng force given by the formula of F is equals to the cross product of the current multiplied by the line vector of the wire and magnetic field. So, pag mas malaki yung current o yung magnetic field, mas malaki rin yung force. Next, the constant speed, changing velocity. Pag ang charged particle gumagalaw sa region na may magnetic field lang, ang speed ng particle nananatiling constant. Pero dahil yung magnetic force nagpapabago sa direction ng motion ng particle, yung velocity constantly din nagbabago. So, let's define acceleration. So, dahil ang velocity ay vector quantity, meaning may magnitude at direction, ang pagbabago sa direction means ang particle ay nag-a-accelerate. Ang acceleration na to ay tinatawag na centripetal acceleration at laging directed towards the center ng circular path. So, what is centripetal acceleration and magnetic force? Ang magnetic force nagpo-provide ng centripetal force na nag-cause ng centripetal acceleration. Ang magnitude ng centripetal acceleration ay denoted by the formula of A is equals to V square over R. So, V is yung speed and R is yung radius ng circular path. And lastly, we're gonna tackle about the relationship between speed, acceleration, and magnetic field. Ang magnitude ng magnetic force ay denoted by the formula of F is equals to QV multiplied by B. At ang force na to ay equal sa mass times the centripetal acceleration. So, QVB is equals to MA is equals to M multiplied by V square over R. So, this equation shows how the speed, acceleration, magnetic field, charge, and mass are all related. So, pag binago mo yung isa, of course, maaapektuhan yung iba. So, let's prove that by solving this sample problem. Okay, for the sample, problem number 3. So, dalawa dito yung required. Let's read the sample problem together. An electron with a mass of 9.11 times 10 raised to negative 31 kilogram with a charge of 1.60 times 10 raised to negative 19 coulomb is moving in a uniform magnetic field of 0.20 Tesla. The electron speed is 3.0 times 10 raised to positive 6 meter per second, and its velocity is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Now A, calculate the radius of the circular path the electron follows. Letter B, calculate the magnitude of the electron's centripetal acceleration. Okay, so letter A, let's determine first the given. So, for our mass, 9.11 times 10 raised to negative 31 kilogram. Next, the charge is 1.60 times 10 raised to negative 19 coulomb. The magnetic field denoted by capital letter B, 0.20 Tesla. The speed, so kanina, yung velocity, meron siyang vector quantity na may arrow sa taas. Pero since speed is a scalar quantity, wala siyang arrow symbol sa taas. So this is speed. So our speed is equals to 3.0 times 10 raised to positive 6 meter per second. Next, the required. Anong required sa letter A? The radius. Denoted by small letter r. Okay, so anong equation na gagamitin natin? So r is equals to the product of mass and speed over the product of charge and magnetic field. So, lagyan na natin yung mga values. M, what is our N? 9.11 times 10 raised to negative 31 kilogram multiplied by our speed 3.0 times 10 to positive 6 meter per second all over the product of 1.60 times 10 raised to negative 19 coulomb multiplied by 0.20 Tesla. To input that in the scientific calculator. Okay, so if you were to input the values on the scientific calculator, ito yung magiging result. So 0.00008540625. So instead of gawin natin yan, so gagawin natin yung tinuro ni Sir Red, which is scientific notation. So kapag i-convert natin itong value na to into scientific notation, so if you were to convert this value into scientific notation, magiging result niyan is 8.54 times 10 raised to negative 5 meters. So bakit negative 5? Kasi bilangin natin yung values, ay bilangin natin yung non-zeros and yung first digit after 0. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pang 5 yung 8. Pero since to the right, magiging negative siya. So, 8.54 times 10 is to negative 5 meters. Okay? So, same lang siya. Answer pala natin dito is 8.54 times 10 is to negative 5 meters. Yun yung ating radius. Understood? Okay, so for the letter B, you must first determine the given. So, ang given natin ay the speed denoted by small letter V, 3.0 times 10 raised to positive 6 meter per second. The second one is the radius, which we solved earlier, 8.54 times 10 raised to negative 5 meters. So, ang required natin is the acceleration. Meron siyang vector quantity. So, the equation that we will use is acceleration is equals to v squared over r. Okay, so substitute na natin yung mga values. Acceleration is equals to, ano yung v natin? 3.0 times 10 raised to positive 6 meter per second quantity square over yung r natin, which is the radius, sinove natin kanina, 8.54 times 10 raised to negative 5 meters. So if we were to input the values into the scientific calculator, ito yung magiging result niya, 1.0 and so on, raised to positive 17. So, 1.05 times 10 raised to positive 17 meter. Okay, mag-cancel muna tayo. So, meter. Okay, so makakancel itong square. So, ang matitira lang is isang m. And of course, second square is second square. So, yun ang value ng ating acceleration. So, for our answer, acceleration is equals to 1.05 times 10 raised to positive 17 meter per second square. And that is our final answer.
And that marks the end of our discussion. So, we thank you for tuning in and we sincerely hope na may natutunan kayo. And of course, you will use these brand new learnings for your next mission in physics. Pero, last question, did you achieve the learning competencies we mentioned earlier? Comment down below!